So you buried Alice. You up there. You spread many ashes there, and that experience with Alice was the beginning of almost a ritual around this, around losing.
Yeah, we do it pretty often now. Probably a couple, probably 10 times a year. We used to have about one a month. And really it just depends on, things have been kind of shut down in terms of the shelters lately. So we have to be, the shelters are still open for us because they're taking in animals, but we just have access to fewer animals. But yeah, we've done it for a whole bunch of critters, and it's kind of added a whole nother layer to rescue, providing hospice care for dogs and cats. Because it's kind of saying, look, we fucked up, and we're really sorry. You know, we being, you know, let's back up a little bit. We people who don't like to take responsibility for pit bulls or for dogs in general, I find hilarious, because, you know, dogs as we know them in the world, not just America, are products of human beings. They are a technology that we developed. So dogs came from two distinctly different origin points in the world, and evolved from those two specific origin points. Breeders in the 1800s, 1700s, 1800s got a hold of different dogs and created different breeds, right? So dogs as we know them were man-made. They were created by man. Yet we have this, we absolve ourselves from any responsibility for where they are, what they are, how they are, when in point of fact, very obviously, if you trace it back, we are 1,000,000% responsible for their well-being across the board. We don't get to be picky and choosy. I mean, we have to take collective responsibility for our pets. So I think why this is so fun and popular is because it gives all of us a chance, instead of going out and kicking someone's ass who might have abused an animal, it gives us an opportunity to do something even better, which is coalesce around a dying animal and just give them love, give them everything they should have had from the get-go, and kind of make things right. That's the best way to make it right.
Love
right?
it.
You know, not like brutalizing someone into, you know, for a poor series of decisions they made.
Yeah, I love that, because certainly brutalizing somebody because of bad decisions doesn't do anything for the sweet creature. What can we do? What can we do for the sweet creature? And love and attention and care. Yeah. And so how has that sort of evolved? Like what have you learned through doing this for 4 years and having done it for, you know, maybe more than 40 animals? What have you learned about in yourself? Maybe what have you learned about grieving? What have you learned about the process of carrying and helping that little sweet pea go across that rainbow bridge?
I've learned that the most profound thing I've learned is that the most alive you will ever be is dealing with death. You know, the most alive you as a person will be or feel is when you are coping with death. You're coping with the loss of a life. You know, we recently lost our personal dog. She was struck and killed in front of our house by a speeding vehicle. And, you know, that loss, it was like the most traumatic thing ever. It's still something that echoes through our home and through our hearts, you know, regularly. But we were very alive in that pain. We were very, very, very alive. And as a person who has not wanted to be around, you know, I've been suicidal. I've had feelings of darkness where I just didn't want to be on earth. It reminds you of how precious life is. It reminds you of how much you are in love with things, you know, like it just goes to show you how much love permeates everything, you know, and that's what it gives us this opportunity to do, is just really just love wide open, just love. And to do it on the internet, you know, to collectively mourn with people. What I've learned is that people don't get to cry enough. You know, people don't get to be sad enough. You know, Jimmy V, once said in his ESPN speech that you've had a full day if you've laughed, if you've been moved to tears, and if you've thought about something significant, if you've laughed, and if you've been moved to tears, if you've cried. And how often do we cry every day? Not very often.
I'm a big weeper. I believe in it. Part of the reason sometimes I watch those Dodo videos or a Marley's Mutts video is because I have a lot of weeping in me for, I don't know if it's this lifetime or last lifetime, I don't know, but I'm a big believer in it. I think it's a relief that we need. It's so important. It's been a really important part of my healing. Is be like my brother and I, you know, he'll call me up sometimes and just like I just need to cry, and I'll just listen. And I'm a big believer in it. You know, when I meditate, my meditations end with me weeping, and it's almost quite often it's a weeping of gratitude, and that being grateful for being human, being grateful for being able to connect, being grateful for all the things that have happened to me, good, bad, and in between. Yeah. And certainly my dog is way, you know, every time I look at her, I go, how did I get so lucky to have you?